Welcome to Fit and Bold, where we promote healthy lifestyles. I'm your host, Lakita Goins. Today, we're going to learn about early childhood development. Many of you have young children or grandchildren, so this discussion will cover well care visits and some questions from the community. I have with me today Dr. Bird, and he's from the UAMS Area Health Education Center. How are you today?
All right, thank you.
All right, I want to thank you for coming out to speak with me today. And what is the general definition of a child well care visit?
With the well child check, essentially what we're doing is assessing developmental milestones for the children, also providing any necessary therapies, which can include immunizations on a regular scheduled basis.
Okay, and when is a baby's first well child?
Well, after the child is born, usually we have the child come in, or the infant come in within the next day or two for a weight check, and then the first actual visit will be on the 3rd week of their life, where we'll start immunizations and then also do full history and physical to start us following their development.
Okay, so can you go from infant to maybe 3 or 4 years old? What does a pediatrician look for at the well care visits?
There's several different categories for development. That includes fine motor, gross motor, communication, several different areas that we assess at the same time. Some of the areas are a little bit more important when the child is, infant age, and then as they develop, all the different areas are important to make sure that the child develops properly.
Okay, and how do you get the information that you need to know if a child is on track?
Well, most of the information, especially in the beginning, comes from the parents. And then also with our physical exam, we can see how well the child is growing and then also developing from a physical standpoint. As the child ages, then we can also include assessments from caregivers that are not the parents, and then also teachers that might see any other problems or whatnot.
Okay, so this may be a question that's kind of obvious, but why are these well care visits important?
Well, the well care visits are important mainly to assess development. If a child is having any trouble in a specific area, if they come to these visits on a regular basis, then we can detect it early, we can start treatments early, and hopefully get that child back to a level where they might be able to function as well as any other child their age.
Okay, and what is a well care schedule?
The well care schedule, it's a bit tough to follow, but we start off with the 3-week visit, and then usually we have the child come in every 2 months after that. So it'd be a 2-month, 4-month, and then 6, and then I believe a 9-month, and then 1 year, and then this is where it gets a little tricky, 15 to 18, and then after that, every year. Okay. And that schedule, it's like that mainly initially for immunizations.
Okay, and where can parents find this schedule?
I'm not sure whether parents can necessarily find the schedule, but if they follow up with a pediatrician or a primary care doctor on a regular basis, they should be able to stay on schedule. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I want to talk about immunizations because I've been reading a lot of articles lately, and then you'll see these random stories pop up in the news about the people who are against immunizing their children. So I want to talk about first, what is an immunization? Well,
immunization it's a form of the type of disease that pretty much boosts the immune system in order to prevent the infection from taking hold. There's several different types. There's live vaccines and dead vaccines, and then also toxins, which we provide for the kid so that they can build up their immune system, so they won't I guess, be affected by the full-blown disease.
Okay.
Some of the issues that most patients have with the immunizations, they haven't been proven substantially through any significant literature that we really follow. One of the main things that I have seen in the literature is that there's the immunizations that contain several different types of immunizations that might have influenza and then also MMR. They have a preservative that includes mercury. And that is one of the things that most of the people on the other side of the argument are saying this is what is causing these problems in the children, including autism and ADHD.
Okay.
If that is your concern, then we do have some options where you can have single vaccines and protect these children from these diseases, because these diseases are pretty nasty. We don't encounter them as much these days because of the vaccines.
Right.
But I assure you that the risk of having these diseases that could cause mortality or morbidity in your kids is a lot more than the risk of developing autism, ADHD from the actual vaccines.
Right. Okay. So what are some of the vaccines that are available?
Some of the vaccines, and this is a little tough because usually I rely on my nurses a little bit too much than I'm supposed to, but definitely influenza, hepatitis A and B, diphtheria, tetanus, measles, mumps, rubella, and then pneumococcal vaccine is another one, then I think also meningococcal.
Okay.
There might be a couple other ones I'm leaving
That's
off the
okay.
list, but it's a long list, and it's important to get these immunizations if you can.
Right. Okay. So is it anything that parents should be aware of as they're watching their children grow up? Is there anything they should really pay attention to?
Well, just how well they're developing initially, how well they're interacting with the parents, and then also with the other family members. It's hard to say specifically, throughout an entire child's life, what exactly to look for. But with the well child visits, we can kind of instruct you on different developmental stages, what exactly you would look for. In particular, maybe children 12 months of age, they really need to, or they usually can say mama, dada to their father or their mother. They should also be able to take a few steps on their own without any support, stuff like that. But on an individual basis, it gets just a little bit more specific.
Okay. So we have some write-in questions because we have email address bold@uapb.edu. And I had a question of how do you know when to take your sick child to see a doctor when they haven't started talking yet? When is sick enough to go to the doctor?
Right. Fever is definitely one of the main things, and a fever from a technical standpoint would be 100.4.
Okay.
Usually we start getting worried when the fever gets above 102.5.
Okay.
That's when we definitely try to figure out what the source of this fever is and treat the infection. If activity levels a big thing. If they're usually a very active child, if they're moving and around a decent bit, and then all of a sudden they're just kind of laying around doing nothing.
Right.
That's a big sign that they might need to come in for evaluation. And then also appetite. If they're not eating well, if they're not taking their bottle well, you definitely need to make sure that child comes in for evaluation. And then also bowel movements, diarrhea, constipation, and urine output. If they're not making a lot of wet diapers, they might be dehydrated, and they need to come in for evaluation.
Okay, and I know this is individual, but when is too late for a child to start walking or talking? When should the parent be concerned?
Right. So when we say 12 months, that's a median, or that's an average of all children that we have followed. Usually, I'd say within about a year and a half, especially if the child is having any trouble getting around, then definitely needs to come in for evaluation. But 12 months, give it about 2 or 3 months. If the child's still having some problems, then.
Okay. And at what age should I take my child to see a dentist?
A dentist? Oh, that's a good question.
3.
Yeah,
I'm getting a cue from the side that says 3.
Well, yeah.
Okay. And last question is, what are the signs that a child may have hearing problems?
Hearing problems? Well, they get an initial hearing screen after they're born. Those can have false positives, which means that the child necessarily just didn't perform the test well. So usually we'll get, if they fail that initial test, then we'll get another test within that same month. If they fail that second test, then we send them over to a ear, nose, and throat specialist for further evaluation. So we tend to catch those relatively early.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Bird. Unfortunately, we're out of time, and I know we have a lot of questions here, but I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us. Audience, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to be doing our Fit and Bold Healthy Recipe Pick, so stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Danny Andre Burrell II, a senior here majoring in Industrial Technology, Management, and Applied Engineering. I thought that I would be looking for a job at this point, but thanks to my mentor, Dr. Charles Colin at Career Services, I was able to obtain a position as an industrial engineer upon graduation.
Danny worked hard in class from the beginning, obtaining 3 internships while on campus. UAPB can help prepare students like Danny for those same opportunities.
UAPB prepared me.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
I'm big, I'm big, I'm big. I've done big things. Some even say I'm bigger than life. But you know what? There's nothing bigger than life. Not when someone you love is fighting to live. You want to do something big? You want to do something big? Sign up to Donate Marrow and save a life. Take the first step at BeTheMatch.org. See how big you can be. You could be the one to save a life.
Welcome to Fit and Bold. Today we have been learning about childhood development. So, of course, a good part of a child developing well mentally and physically is their diet. So today I'm going to make baked apricots. So this is a really simple recipe, and I'm going to show you, and I'm also going to show you some other fruit, pluots. This is an apricot. These are pluots. Now, for the people out there that know more than I do, I found out about these last year, and what they are a cross between a plum and an apricot. And what I found, these are darker because they're more ripe, but they're usually a nice bright red color to green, and they are a lot sweeter than plums. So this is good because kids a lot of times want candy and sweets. Well, this is going to be a perfect recipe. And you can use this with the pluots or the apricots. So the first thing that you do is you want to slice these. Now both of these have pits in the middle. So I'm just going to get them from around the pit first. And then I'll slice into smaller pieces. So there's the pit. And I'm just going to kind of cut it like that. And this is really like a 2 or 3 step recipe. Now, the next thing you need is lemon juice. Now, I don't have measurements for this, but lemon juice, this is pretty concentrated, so you have to use your best judgment as far as your child is concerned. But I just sprinkle just a little, and it doesn't want to just sprinkle, but you just squeeze a little. And if that doesn't work, I just open it. Okay? And you can always kind of roll that around to get it spread out better. Now, some recipes suggest sugar here, but I'm just gonna bypass that and go straight to some honey. And that way you don't get as much sugar, but you still have a sweet taste. So I just kind of zigzag this around. And good news, audience, for a quick meal, that is your final step as far as preparation. So the next thing you want to do, and I wanted to make it completely quick, because if you're cooking for children, you probably don't have a lot of time. I used aluminum foil, and I just placed them on the foil and turned the oven to 350 degrees and baked them for about 15 minutes. And so this is what you get. And you can tell they're done. They start to brown a little bit, and they are really tasty for the kids. So I'm just gonna taste one. And they have a really sweet taste, and they're good for their sweet tooth. Now, the thing about children is, if you start them eating healthy from the beginning, it sets the tone for their nutritional habits later. So if they eat a lot of candy, a lot of what's termed junk food, then later that's what they have a craving for. If they eat the green vegetables, the heart healthy food, the green, the red, the orange vegetables, the red apples, all those bright colors are great for kids. And if they eat that early, that's what they want. And when they get all those saturated fats and trans fats, they really don't have a taste for it. So I'm gonna cut one of the pluots too, so that you can see how they look on the inside. Now, pluots, as they ripen more, they're always really sweet on the inside, and the skin is sweet too. But as they ripen more, the skin turns more sour, but the inside is still sweet. But this is what they look like. They're a nice treat for kids. I'll taste it. And it's really good. And if you can see the plate, you see how bright this is. It's really healthy for the kids. And maybe it'll curb some of that sugary things they're looking for. And they stay cool. You can keep these in the refrigerator. They can eat an apricot without it being baked. The pluots as well. So you can keep it in the refrigerator. It's a nice cold treat on a hot day. That is very important. And when we return, we're going to have the children. We're going to get them up in front of the TV, get their workout clothes on, and we're going to do some fit and bowl exercises. So stay tuned.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay, wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
I'm Anthony Fernando, a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm also a graduate of UAPB. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of Science in Aquaculture Fisheries program. Thanks to my mentor, Dr. Eggleton, I'm acquiring unique skills needed for future employment.
Since coming to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, Tony has been involved in a wide range of undergraduate research. Some of this research he plans to publish later this year. UAPB prepares its students for these types of opportunities every day.
UAPB is preparing me.
Welcome back to Fit and Bold, where we promote healthy lifestyles. Today's episode has been about childhood development. So I'm here today at Anderson's Taekwondo in the Pines Mall. Will you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Freddie Wright. I'm a black belt here at Anderson's Taekwondo Center here out in the Pines Mall.
Okay, and tell us about what you do here.
Well, what we do here as far as childhood development is concerned is focus on the child's overall conditioning, both mentally and physically. We work on their attitude level from respect, loyalty, to discipline, integrity, and we just try to keep a focus on those things here, school in and school out.
Okay, so I can see how that relates to development. It sounds very important. So tell us what we're going to be doing today.
Today we're going to be demonstrating to you guys how we keep the body and the mind one. We're going to show you guys a series of exercises and techniques, exercises that you can use throughout your everyday life, and techniques that are kind of self-defense oriented.
Okay. All right, audience. So if you want to change clothes and you want to try out some Taekwondo, get ready.
succeed with another blow. Success is fair, turn inside out. The zero tenths are the clouds out. Ain't never can tell how close you are. You may be near, but see so far, so stick to the part. With hearts in, when things seem worse, that you must not quit. When things seem worse, that you must not quit. When things seem worse, that you must not quit. When things seem worse, that you must not quit.
It was great to see these young people work out today. So remember, if you have any comments, questions, if you have any recipes, if you would like to be on the fitness segment or doctor or food segment of our show, email fitandbold@uapb.edu. That's fitandbold@uapb.edu. Remember, getting healthy is a lifestyle journey, so get fit and be bold.